Well, guys, we're going to be talking about Dreg's Promise today, man. All the beautiful things about this weapon and also the ugly things. I got to say, man, this was a weapon that I definitely named to be actually the worst weapon way back whenever it was pretty damn terrible. But here right now, man, in the current meta that we're in, we might actually be sitting on something spectacular. With that being said, though, let's hit our featured subscriber, man. Lost Mavericks, I'm drunk as fuck. If I'm your featured sub, I'll carry your next child. Easily. I've made love to your video. That is, that's put a completely different perspective on my videos now. I don't know if I feel comfortable knowing that my video might have been the background soundtrack to lovemaking, but hey, that's pretty dope, man. I'll go ahead and take that. As always, guys, if you want to be a featured subscriber, simply like this video, of course subscribe, and comment down below, and I want to know your favorite sidearm, man. I mean, we're specifically talking about sidearms today, and Dreg's Promise has become my favorite. I know, not necessarily everyone's favorite. Actually, I don't know one other person that says Dreg's Promise is their favorite, but guys, I gotta say, I'm in love. Okay, guys, so let's talk a little bit about what I got my Dreg's Promise. Also, it's time to kill and go over a little bit about this weapon and how to play with this thing. Now, Dreg's Promise for the longest time has been known as one of the worst weapons in this game. I say way back when, even before September, before they even updated it again when they brought around Trespasser, it was very terrible. There was a lot of times you would use this weapon and you would just see yourself getting killed way before the weapon even started to make contact. Now they fixed a couple of those things, and the weapon still is not a hit scan weapon, but the projectiles actually work in favor. So the shock rounds, that's the big thing I want to really bring up. The high ricochet shock rounds with enhanced target acquisition. This is a really odd one. I have shot so many people behind walls. I've fallen down behind obstacles while still shooting just to see the burst still continue and tracking and hitting the enemy. It has been absolutely crazy. Now, I happen to be rocking soft ballistics with perfect balance. Now, here's the other side of things. You can go aggressive ballistics, and honestly, so aggressive ballistics might be the better thing for you. But the way my playstyle was working, I wanted to keep on the little bit of more range that I had and also the little more stability. Now, let's go over the time to kill real quick, man, because let me just go ahead and just throw this out to you. It has got the worst time to kill compared to all the other sidearms. That is something that I actually get asked a bunch whenever we're talking about sidearms. I'm talking to people about sidearms. I'm like, you know, in a 1v1 sidearm situation, Dreg's Promise probably wouldn't win out. Not at first. Honestly, it would probably result in a trade or you just outright losing, because you're looking at a sidearm here with a 0.73 second time to kill. If you put that in comparison, Wormwood has a 0.6 second time to kill. Not only that, but Wormwood only requires you to hit 1 crit and 3 body shots. You know, Dreg's Promise requires you to hit 6 crits and 1 body shot to actually hit that time to kill. Now, the good side of things is body shot damage. 8 bodies can result in a 0.8 second time to kill, which leads me to really believe Dreg's Promise has the upper hand most of the time in a 1v1 primary versus sidearm fight. Now, you're probably like, well, that's most sidearms. The beautiful thing about Dreg's Promise is that it can fight in the mid-range pretty effectively, but not only can it fight in the mid-range, it can fight in the air. I know it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of times that you can jump up in the air and land shots pretty decently well with your sidearm. Dreg's Promise takes that to an entirely different level. That's right, guys. If you love bones, if you love to skate, if you love to move around a bunch in the air, Dreg's Promise is your best friend. The biggest complaint that I got from people whenever everything kind of went down with all the different weapons and special ammo got nerfed was that there was just not enough mobility in this game. For my people out there that love to move around, for my people out there that just loves mobility in this game, man, Dreg's Promise can be your best friend, man. I am really trying fucking hard right now to sell you this damn thing, man, because it's good. Now, you probably see the weapon that I'm using with this. I really want to show and stress the primaries, man. I find that Kakaitis, a good high impact scout rifle, can go really well with this weapon, or even something like Badger CCL. I also find pulse rifles to work really well with it. If I had a spare change, man, I would be rocking it all day long with this gun, because pulses really go hand in hand with something like Dreg's Promise or even something like Trespasser, because they also have the same nature, man. They also run off of that pulsing. So I've always been a huge fan of seeing burst weapons together, you know, whether that's a blind perdition and a Trespasser, whether that's, you know, a spare change in this Dreg's Promise. Those are really good to go in with each other because of that burst nature that they all have. Now, I will say this though, Dreg's Promise is different than the other sidearms. This is a weapon that I feel like in any situation that anyone ever tries to rush you with a primary, you can beat them out. And here's the thing, as long as distance is your friend, distance is your biggest friend with Dreg's Promise. It's not like the other sidearms, because the other sidearms, I would say effectively so, you will not be able to hit them very easily at 20 meters, man. That's just not something that I would highly suggest. But with Dreg's Promise, yes, absolutely, man. You will be able to hit that every single day, man, and do a fantastic job shredding them. And so I really suggest, like, and that's why I was using a high impact scout rifle like a Kitus with Dreg's Promise, because the high impact scout rifle was simply a means to just simply destroy them from a distance. And as soon as they got it within my radius, man, that 20 meter, 25 meter radius is when I would whip out Dreg's Promise, man, and let that go to town on people. And it would do. It would eat them up. They would try to come in there with a primary fight, or even if they would try to rush into the sidearm fight, but they just would not get close enough, because Dreg's Promise does such devastating damage, and that target acquisition is nothing to bat an eye at. Now, I'm not one for maining a sidearm. I'm not one to always just run around. But if I had to pick a sidearm to constantly run around the map and use against primaries and secondaries and other weapons of all types in the air on whatever class, man, especially either a Titan class or a Hunter class with bones, man, I gotta say Dreg's Promise is gonna be your best friend. Listen, guys, I know I'm coming off extremely biased. I know that I'm sitting here and jumping up and down saying that this weapon is OP and I've slapped it on this thumbnail, but guys, I really believe this is a wonderful sidearm in this game, man, and a weapon that I feel like you really need to revisit and pick back up. Guys, as always, man, thank you so much for coming and watching. I'll be streaming tonight with Blessius. We'll be doing some trials, so please come by the stream, guys, and check us out. I'll catch y'all later, fellas.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.